Optimism for the future, I think, is an intrinsic, invaluable quality that you can have as a person. You can also, put in the word hope instead of optimism for the future. You can just be a hopeful person, and you'll see that overall your life will be a lot better. Now, in the state of the world that we have today, there's a lot of cause to be cynical, to be skeptical, to be a little bit more depressed because the economy may not be that great. This may not be that great. But if you just generally have this almost almost childish sense of optimism, you'll begin to seek out more opportunities in life, and you'll begin to seek out and even see good things happening. Whereas if you have a more cynical outlook, those good things will kind of be hidden to you. And I don't know if that's an actual scientific, notion. That I think there's a concept, it's like the reticular activating system, where you see only what you're like really attentive to. And it's kind of this whole self-development notion of like when you look outside of a window, some people see the beautiful scenery outside the window, other people see that one little dirty speck. And you want to be the person who's looking at that wonderful, landscape beyond it. Both are true. It's just your choice in terms of what you want to focus on. And so when you have a good optimism for the future, you're more likely to get up and want to get after it when you wake up in the morning. You're more likely to feel healthier. You're more likely to take, action in terms of like exercising because you think that like, oh yeah, it might be painful now, but I'm more likely to see the benefits long term. So you're more likely to do positive, healthful things. And optimism generally is just correlates with so many other positive psychological outcomes for the individual. Now, I read a book. It was, I think it's called Thinking Fast and Slow by a behavioral economist who basically says that having over-optimism or too much optimism can be dangerous because you're more likely to start things that are a bit more risky. You're more likely to take riskier gambles. You're more likely to get invested in things that, when you look at the statistics, you shouldn't be getting involved with, but you're like, oh no, I trust that things are going to work out. So you want to have a healthy optimism for the future. But just in general, I think if you can look into the future knowing that good things are going to happen without any evidence to the contrary or in support of that, you're more likely to have a better life, I would say, overall. Because again, you're going to take those actionable steps. You're going to see things in a more positive light. And you're going to have a more hopeful outlook for the future, which makes you more relational with other people. It makes you more, I think, just flexible in terms of thinking. It makes you more fun to be around. So there's so many positives to it. And I've been around cynics. I've been around pessimists. I've been depressed before. Like there's a lot of reason that you can stack on top of each other to not be optimistic about the future. But if you're still here, if you're still alive and kicking, I would highly, recommend that you begin to think about things in terms of what good can happen rather than what bad can happen. Again, there's no real fundamental basis for this because, again, just like the looking at landscape or looking at the speck on the, both are true. You could look out. I think it's the Albert Einstein thing. It's like whether the world is a horrible place or a good place, it doesn't matter. It's however you perceive it. And so having optimism for the future will just give you a much more exciting future to look forward to. And maybe a lot of this goes without saying, but, I think some people need to hear it because, there's this trend in society to always complain, blame, and look at the bad. You want to move in the opposite direction so you can kind of stand out, rarefy yourself, and just feel generally better because you're in it for the long haul, meaning for life, and you might as well do whatever you can to make the most of it. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.